Hey guys, welcome to another 203K Tuesday. I'm your host, Aaron, the house person, and this is the place you come to find out everything you don't know about the 203K loan and learn how you can use that loan to help create, build, and sustain generational wealth. So, I always talk about that 203K starting lineup, right? If you don't know it by now, I'm gonna charge you to go back to previous episodes and check out that start lineup episode. But we have a member of your 203K team, that shooting guard, that lender that's gonna score you the bag, right? Gonna get you the funds you need to take care of your business. So I got Miss Natasha Robinson. She's VP with Guaranteed Rate Affinity up in the Chicago, Illinois. So let me bring Natasha in. Okay, there we go. Natasha, how we doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Glad you can make it. Myself and the folks watching appreciate your time because at least I understand how busy you are. Rock star up there handling business. So, yes,
Never
much
too busy
appreciated.
for you. Never too busy for you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think you sound a little low. I don't know if it's me. Just want to make
How does
sure
that sound?
that's a little better. Yes.
Okay.
All right, so just want to make sure we get all the good gems. So typically what I do is I just jump right into the questions. It's 10 of them. And from there, and I do that because some of the things that you would normally kind of talk about in the intro, they'll be addressed in the questioning process. And then from there, we're just going to talk about you, your business, and pretty much anything else real estate related. That's cool?
That's cool.
All right. So first question, man, this might be a tough one. All right.
Oh,
So do you know the 203K process from start to finish, and have you closed this loan before?
yeah. So we close a lot of 203K over on the Natasha team over here at Guaranteed Rate. And yeah, so the process of the 203K is different depending on who you work with. But my process is pretty much we're going to pre underwrite your file. We want to make sure you truly qualify for this property before you have your agent drive around and look at 27 properties and, bring your contractor in. So we'll do a full underwrite. We do pull the underwriter's back reports just so all those hidden foreclosures and things that you take off in credit repair, those things come right back up when they pull their underwriting reports after you found the property. So we kind of do that stuff in advance so that way you're not stressed out through the process. And then from there, you'll go under contract. And then once you go under the contract, then we will be able to start the process with the 203K HUD consultant and things like that, getting you a consultant if you need one, or just having your contractors go out and bid the job. Once we get all your numbers in, we're able to order an appraisal because our appraisal is going to appraise the property for what it's going to be worth tomorrow. So we're going to need those numbers. And if you're changing the layout or the design, we're going to also need a sketch from the architect or a very well handwritten sketch that has accurate room dimensions so we can compare your property to other properties as well within your area within 1 mile, so that way we can get the true after value from that. And from there, you finalize with your contractor, we'll get you closed. And then after we get you closed, you'll work on obtaining those permits so that way you can start your work, because we don't issue any money or distribute any money until after you have those permits, if permits are required.
Okay, so it
So
sounds
that's
like
the quick session.
it sounds like you know the process a little bit. Good deal, good deal. So how long have you been working with this, the renovation product, 2 or 3Ks?
So I've been doing this for about 20 years. I started out just for the desire to want to do renovation. My dad lost his house to property taxes and it needed a lot of work. And my mother had all types of credit lines on her credit to help build them. And when he lost it, everything went to crumble. So I always wanted to learn the process. I'm not only a renovation specialist, but I also rehab and flip myself. I'm actually doing a $500,000 rehab right now on a Greystone in North Kenwood. So I live, sleep, and eat renovation. It's my hobby, not my job.
I love it. My hobby, not my job.
Mhm.
Okay, so as far as like additional credentials or certifications, anything like that? Do you have anything associated with just lending or 203Ks or anything like that?
Yeah, we pretty much do everything from FHA conventional. A lot of people talk about 203K, but there's also a home style renovation loan, which is a conventional product, which we offer. We offer the full 203K and the standard. So we can go all the way up to the loan limits in your county. We also have VA renovation that's twiddling back in. We should have it in the next week or so. So we'll be able to do VA renovation for our veterans out there. And then sometimes, like, like Biden is coming out with this grant, which we don't have the details, but I have a lot of down payment assistance, not a lot of them, but I have a few down payment assistance programs that I can combine with the renovation, but not a lot, right? So as they come and go, if you hear about something, we can research it for you guys. But we have been able to do a lot of those. And a lot of people don't know, but HUD has properties on the website. You have to make sure you go to their official website. And if you're lucky enough to find one of those properties, we can do $100 down instead of 3.5%, which is pretty amazing as well. So we pretty much offer everything that's available. We follow Jenny guidelines. Jenny is the government, so we don't really have a lot of overlays. We have some due to COVID, but we pretty much can get you done if you have a 600 credit score, and you have your appropriate down payment and funds available to get to the finish line.
Okay, that's good information. So yeah, the HUD house. Now here, it may be the same situation up there, but here we really don't have really any inventory as far as the HUD homes. HUDhomestore.com.
Every now and then. So when they'll come up randomly, you just gotta watch. And they're on the MLS, so if they do pop up, you'll see them. But I was lucky to do three at the same time. I'm like, what's happening? So now that the market is supposed to will do whatever it's gonna do once they allow landlords to finally evict people, we'll see what comes back in the HUD world. But for now, it has been pretty thin. We have a neighbor next door program in Chicago, and we can look it up there too. But they actually qualify for 30,000. They're just your more roughed up properties, which work perfect for a renovation. But we're actually able to combine that 30,000 with a renovation as well. So we'll let you know. But most of the grant programs will not be available for renovation. There will be a few, but if it's available, if it's free, I'll take three, as I say. We will, kind of go through it and let you know what we can do.
Okay, you said neighbor next door.
Neighbor next.
Okay, and that's different from like the good neighbor next door, and that's not the same. That's something completely separate. Uh-oh, did I freeze or did you freeze? Somebody frozen. Oh, okay. Welcome back. Let me see. Okay, welcome back. I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Okay. Let me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, gotcha. So my last question was that the neighbor next door program, is that like the good neighbor next door? Or that's something separate.
Yeah, that's like the police officers, EMT, firefighters. But once again, they have a list, and your property has to fall in the list with the city. And if it does, then we can combine. We actually did a few of those. The trick with those in Chicago is that you can't close until 30 days after you get the clear to close. So you have to have a seller that's willing to wait it out a good 60 days or 75 days or so.
Interesting. Okay.
We generally can close a renovation loan in 37 days if you have that contractor piece on point, which is the hardest part of the renovation loan.
So what's your NMLS number?
332074.
332074.
I was supposed to say that before I started. My name is Natasha Robinson, MLS number 332074. Sorry.
No worries. It's in the list of questioning, but so how many 203Ks would you say that you've like closed, and what's like your average time? Well, you already said the average time is like 37 days, so you can get it done in 37. But like, how many would you say you've closed in the 20-year period? Roughly. That's
I would say I average about 30 to 40 a year lately. More so in the past 5 years. I did in for my full 20 years, I actually used to work for one of the top producers in the 203K industry. I was her personal assistant, not personal assistant, but mortgage consultant, where I did almost all her stuff for her. So a lot of my experience does lie in processing. But I've been a full-time originator for 6 years.
Okay.
But we didn't have to have licenses before 2010. So I've been licensed ever since 2010. I just did more work, under my boss's name than I did for myself.
Gotcha. But still gained all that experience, which translates over to, the
Yep.
rock
We
star
actually
today.
Yeah, we actually started the renovation department at Guaranteed Rate, and it's a huge department now. But it was all started with 8 people in the renovation department, and I was one of those people. So yeah,
Amazing. So, your company, so Guaranteed Rate, do they have well, you said you started a department, so I guess that answers one question. But the question was, do they have a separate department and processors to kind of handle those files in particular?
Yeah, so Guaranteed Rate has purchased a lot of different companies. So you have your Guaranteed Rate Inc., and then you have Guaranteed Rate Affinity, which is where I work. And then there's Proper Mortgage for other companies, not for sure, but they have an entire renovation department. And what they did was they recruited a lot of people from other companies that were killing it, like our competition, because they wanted to be able to monopolize. That's my opinion, to monopolize on the market. But we have a separate department who kind of runs our entire marketing. And then we have our draw department. And then everyone is different. So I pretty much brought my own processors here. So we pretty much process our own files. We've been working with the renovation department, to kind of let go the strings a little bit, but we do have a separate department on top of my department. So they've definitely put a lot of staff and salaries into micromanaging renovation loans because they're totally different from regular loans. And you just need people that are bulldogs to work in this position. Like if you just somebody that it's okay for someone to tell you no for something should be a yes, then it's just not the right position. So we try to make sure we have really good bulldog processors that can handle all of the drama and stress that comes along with a renovation loan. Because believe it or not, most agents don't have experience with 203K. So they're just winging it, and they depend on the loan officer to carry all the weight, even in the negotiation with the sellers, which is stressful. So you have to be on your toes with renovation. So we try to have a team that can do that.
Fantastic. So we're not going to go past that point where the agents do need extra support. I know at one point in time I was definitely one of those agents, and I found that people who are more seasoned than I just really don't deal with 203K. They don't really know about it. They don't want to know about it. Maybe they had a bad experience once upon a time when it was kind of a lot crazier and dysfunctional. But it still surprised me how many realtors really have no clue.
And it's because they don't get that many people that need the renovation, but no worries, because we're going to be doing Zooms for agents, how to be the listing agent, how to be the buyer's agent. So we'll share that with you, and you can kind of share it to your network, because we're going to be coaching agents on how to be the listing and the buyer's agent on renovation. My listing agents, we're going to teach you how to discover when you have what we call, quote unquote, a BS renovation pre-approval. You'll be able to detect when it's a problem in a transaction, so you can pull back sooner than later, and protect your sellers. And buyers agents, we're going to be teaching them how to have their buyers renovation ready, so when they go under contract, we can get the deals closed as quickly as possible. So we'll include you on those, but we know that education is required in order to get everybody to the finish line. So education is power. So we want to empower everyone we can, especially in the 203K world, because they're not as easy as people think. But most important, you need to be able to structure and negotiate very well, in my opinion, with the 203K.
Absolutely. And I'll add assembling the right people on your team, like having that, I call it a 203K starting lineup. So having the right people in position, so that when it is go time, it's not what do I do now? It's like, we all singing from the same sheet of music. One band, one sound. So, okay. I'll be looking for information on that.
Waiting bench.
Say it again.
They gotta have a starting lineup and a waiting bench. They gotta have the waiting bench too. And it's just the waiting game.
So, you mentioned it, but I still got to ask the question. What was the most complicated 203K loan that you worked on?
So I would say this was recent. My client, wanted to convert a 2 unit to a 4 unit, and well, I guess that's not the most complicated, but they wanted to convert a 2 unit to a 4 unit. And the problem is that in Chicago, nobody wants to answer at the zoning department. So we need to get something that says that it can be a 2 unit. Now, whenever my clients go into contract and they want to upgrade units, I let them know from the jump that it's very difficult. It's not something we recommend you do. You can do it as long as you can give me something from, your municipality stating that it can be the amount of units. So in this particular situation, we had to make a lot of calls and do some strong, and we were able to go down and get somebody from the city to give us the zoning. In addition to that, the underwriter accepted something from the architect and something from the consultant, which that was my first time that they would accept that. So I'm still kind of a little in shock, but we were able to, finally get that deal closed. From there. And then other complicated deals is just the value. Like when the value doesn't come back, it's like the seller doesn't want to budge, the buyer doesn't want to budge. So it's kind of like you got to find the middle ground. I got to discover, are you trying to over improve the property? Is the current value really worth the current value? So it's kind of like you got to figure out who's off on value to decipher who should take the cut if the value doesn't come back.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Good deal. So, are you currently working on any Ks?
Yes, so I just got two CTCs while I was on the phone with you. That's weird and coincidental. But clear to close, CTC is clear to close. But yes, I'm working on so many Ks right now. I think I have about 24. I actually hired Sherry on my team. She's 100% managing my 2 or 3 Ks. It's her full-time job. So, I do the intro call. I'm available on the weekends and later at night to talk to your contractors and things like that. But she's really good at structuring, pushing the contractors to get them to provide the documents and things like that. So with this collaboration, we've been able to close more. So our goal is to close about at least 10 a month with our new setup and things that we have going on with renovation.
I love it.
I think we did 5 last month. So this is the grand finale month.
I love it. I mean, why not this month? This is National Home Ownership Month, so yeah, perfect month to
It
be.
should be the best month of my career.
Say it again.
I said it should be the best month of my career. I'm going for 10 million this month. Let's see.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Well, let me be the first to tell you congratulations because it's on the way. So congratulations. I love it. Man, okay. So what consultants up that way, if you can name drop, like who are like the people up that way as far as consultants that kind of tearing the game up and helping a whole lot of folks?
You trying to get me in trouble?
Okay, all right.
No, no, no. Come on. I'm okay. I give everybody their love. So my preferred consultant is I use Gerald Stewart, who, he sometimes gets pretty busy because I give him a lot of work. If I close 5, that means I probably gave him 15 because a lot of times people don't go through with it because of the cost of the repairs. And then I also use David Walls, for my suburban area, north side, things like that. So those are kind of like my two. But then I've been working with Vaughn Harrison on a lot of deals lately. And I've been working with Dan Morgan, Robert Sabri. So those are, kind of a few in our industry that I've been seeing. But just for my files, I've been like right now I have Dan Morgan, Vaughn, and Gerald on all of my stuff right now. So sometimes because the market is crazy, so we have our big time agents doing all of these Zooms. So they have their preferred consulting with Vaughn. So it kind of forced me to work with him. And it's been a great experience. He's a really good teacher. Same thing with Dan Morgan. So, I like working with everybody as long as you give me my reports within 5 business days and you make your changes within 48, you're all right with me.
Okay.
So with that, I haven't had any problems. We've been working together to collaborate on short values and all of that good stuff. So no complaints so far. So I'm excited to open up my consultant database, and we're always looking for great consultants to join us.
Okay, good deal, good deal. And that's funny. I think you mentioned 5 people. So a few agents in other areas that I've spoken to, they don't necessarily have as many folks that they can name. But right now, from what I can tell on the endorsement summary, like you guys are just rocking with K's up there. Like,
Rocking with them. Coming to your state soon. No.
come
So
on
I'm like 42 states. I've been trying to get down there with you guys, but COVID happened. So I'm excited to get down there and really teach it and make sure that your market has the properties that need it. And if it does, then we'll show you how to get in there and build generational wealth and hopefully gain a little equity at the same time.
Good deal. Good deal. So a person watching this or listening to it and says to themselves, okay, well, I like what I heard. She sounds like, she got the experience, she got the team in place. But I want to talk to some of her past clients, just to kind of see how the experience was from their perspective. Would you have some people that you can refer if someone were to ask you, hey, who can I call that you've worked with in the past or currently?
Yes, and I recommend that you guys do that with everyone, especially your contractors, and make sure that my clients tell you they worked with me in the past 6 months to 12 months, because with COVID, things changed a little bit. So you don't want your loan officers and you referrals from 5 years ago with the same last name. So you want people that actually close within 6 to 9 months during COVID, because that'll let you know how the experience is going now. But definitely not a problem. I'm actually doing, we're going to be doing, we tried it once, but we're going to be doing kind of like a weekly thing here at the office. So we're going to keep it a Zoom where my local people can show up. I'm going to have the consultant here and we can just talk about it. It'll kind of be like a little rehab cohort. So you might be able to meet some people that's going through the same things you are, that you can connect with and share your pains, and we can make some recommendations. Maybe we got a store that has cheaper tile or a contractor that's available and does good work. So we want to kind of make it more discussion driven and family oriented, because it takes a lot to get to a renovation. And I know I'm gonna need all the support that I can give with this $500,000 rehab. I'm just saying. So I'm gonna give you guys the same thing that I'll need, because it's a lot. And any information is good information. You just have to use what works for your situation. Everybody's situation story is not going to mirror yours. So some of the information will be useful and some of it will just be, things that's passing through.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, that pretty much wraps up the 10, but
Hmm.
how you mentioned in the 500K, that's a pretty massive project. Uh, what made you say, you know what, I'm doing this? Like, I'm doing it.
So 12 years ago, I did a rehab on my house that I live in now, and it was the worst experience ever. It wasn't a 203K. The market crashed on me. I was a stated borrower, 720. I had over 300,000 in line of credit. You couldn't tell me anything. I didn't cash out because I was cheap and I didn't want to pay interest. Wasn't worried about anybody taking anything from me because everything was together. Well, woke up one morning, all my line of credit was shut down. I'm in the middle of a project with bad contractors. So literally ran out of money on this job. I had to go back to work, and I was a W-2 employee. I went from making six figures to $28,000 a year plus commission. Because I was pregnant with my child and I was too sick to hustle like on the whole commission world. So I just needed insurance and guaranteed pay. So I remember getting my income tax check and to get countertops, and it was crazy. So we finally finished everything, believe it or not, this past year. And this house that I'm buying now is around the corner, and it's everybody in the neighborhood wants it. So I was lucky enough to find it on the list, and I had to stalk this agent forever. And he was a good friend of ours, and he ended up getting it for us. So this particular house is going to be everything that I wanted the other house to be. And I'm hoping that in a couple of years I can sell my house and pay this house off with the equity. So this is all the bells and whistles, elevator, everything that I ever dreamed that I wanted is pretty much going to be in this house. So I want to be able to do it, and I want to be able to showcase it. So those who follow me, Loans by Natasha on Instagram, I'm going to be kind of showcasing it. I'm going to show the good and the bad days, but it's just giving me a chance to have what I finally wanted, and I'm going to do everything at one time and not over 12 years. So that's why I kind of took it on. Didn't really want to do a $500,000 rehab. I would have preferred to buy something and just move in it that was already rehabbed. But the vision that some of the developers have in my neighborhood is just something I'm not interested in, which is why most people do a renovation. And because I was able to buy so low, I could spend a few extra dollars making it the way I want it, because I don't have to make a profit when I sell it. So that's why. So I told myself that if it gets crazy, I'll pull out, but I have all my trades. I did my research. I already have my drawings submitted to the city, and I'm just ready. So we'll see. I'll be learning and teaching at the same time.
Okay. But yeah, I'll be tuning in, watching that project from start to finish. I'm excited for you, and excited to watch that process in general. Man, yeah, that's gonna be fun.
It's
That's
gonna be fun. I'm looking for a door now. My front door is like 12 feet. It's like 40 by 12 feet high. So it's
wow.
a huge like house in the North Kenwood area that these houses were built years ago. Coach house in the back where they had, butlers or whatever they had back there, the help as they called it, in the back. So, we're tearing all of that down and fixing it back up. But yeah, I'm excited to see the journey. So
So how would you? Because you said you also want to renovate flip side of things.
mhm.
Um, how would you like? What would you say are the constants of both worlds, the 203K side and just the investor side, and what would you say the differences are, or like one
Well,
or each?
what in the 203K side allows you to be a house hacker. And I didn't tell that part story, but I'm a house hacker. You could buy a 4 unit at 3.5% down. You can come back and buy a 2 unit at 5% next year, and buy a single family at 5% the year after that. Right? As long as you live in the property for a year, that's legal. For the investors, I feel like it's a little difficult now because it's hard to find money to spread because my borrowers are going over list price and they're going crazy right now to get these properties, right? So the 203K and the home style is your best bet because there's not a lot of spread for the investors. So we're finishing off a few projects from back in the day, but I just partnered with a developer and now we're doing new construction. So we're actually building 3 units because it's not a lot of 3 units. So we're going to see how that goes, but we have three that we're going to be closed on in a couple of weeks. So we have the drawings and everything ready, but we're going more into the thinking outside of the box because we don't feel like it's a lot of inventory. But everyone have your money ready because we feel like in September through January, you're going to start seeing inventory change a little bit. We think that some inventory is going to come. No one knows, but they can't evict anyone right now because of what's going on with COVID. That's going to go away in 3 weeks. So then once the attorneys start the paperwork, these attorneys are ready to get these people to evict, right? So with that being said, I just feel like I don't think the market is going to crash because all my buyers that bought actually qualify for their house. I just think the landlords that haven't been getting any rent and don't qualify for the down payment, the relief money, they only can pay somebody else's mortgage for so long, right? Especially if they're going through a hardship. So I feel like a lot of the 8 units and 20 units and multi-unit properties are going to come, but we'll see. We'll see.
Right. Yeah. See, we shall, and that's funny you mentioned that because that's pretty much the same thing I've been telling folks. Even though we're in some similar conditions as we were back in 2006, 7, 8, it's not the same where you got people who are buying, getting houses with on the arm, getting houses that they're just like, hey, you breathing? All right, come on, sign this paperwork, you get a house. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like these people who have been buying houses here lately, bona fide qualified. You know what I mean? Like they're not just I got a pulse so I can buy a house. So that's one. And then like you said, as far as like the landlords who they got their personal residence, and maybe the house that they used to live in before they bought the bigger house. If the tenant's not paying over here, they're going to pick their personal residence before they lose that over the rental property. So I think some of those landlords will probably let go of that second house. And like you said, some of these multi units where tenants have not been paying at all. There's
Mm-hmm.
some of them honestly, but some of them are straight up just game in the system.
Yep.
But the landlords are definitely suffering right now. The business owners are definitely suffering right now. And as far as like the market tanking, I think the government learned that if the real estate market tanks, the everything tanks. Like
Everything.
the
The
every
world is based upon real estate. So every dollar, everything is based upon real estate, which is why when the market crashed in 2010, they kind of built all the banks out and things like that. So, and I'm not big on all the history and education around it all. I was part of it when it happened, but I definitely believe like if you got people foreclosing now, the loan officer is gonna be getting a call like, did you originate a bad loan? Because everybody that's buying today should be able to afford it. And even those people that lost their job, from what I hear from people that I know, unemployment is great right now. It's actually paying them more money than their job was paying them. So I know that's ending in September, but they've been getting all of this money through the time, so they shouldn't. And I tell my friends all the time, you better pay your mortgage because they'll take your house because there's so many people looking to buy. So we'll see what the market brings. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna crash like people think it's gonna crash. But I do think those 8, 16 units, those storefronts, those commercial lending products may come available. And I tell everyone, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So, have your 401ks ready, save as much as you can save. So that way, if you're, blessed on an opportunity, you can take advantage of it because real estate can change people's lives. And I think that a lot of lives are going to be changed, after this session. This is our second chance to come back and do something good with real estate. So I'm excited.
Absolutely will be another generational uh, financial shift. And for those who decide to take advantage of it, you'll definitely be the benefactor and, you set things up right. Again, now you're talking about a legacy situation where you're passing that down to whoever your heirs may be. So, yeah, 100%. 100%. So, flipping in heels presents badass women in real estate.
Hey.
So that was an event that you just did recently, right?
With you talking about with Rashana Scott?
Yes.
Yes. So she kind of did a like a panel and interview, women that are out here doing their real estate and making money, which we do well. So I was happy to be able to speak on that and share some of my story with everyone else. Because I tell people first we have to motivate. That's number one. Because if you can't do anything without motivating someone, then we can educate them. Because if they're not listening, it don't make sense to educate, right? And then we can help them generate that wealth. So that's pretty much kind of the message we were given. We just want people to believe in themselves. If real estate is for you, take that jump. Real estate has changed my life. I just sold my 8 units. I'm just waiting on the next properties to buy. But I'm somebody that came from working at IHOP making $2 an hour, and I was able to buy real estate, and real estate has helped me through everything that I've been through, from either being able to get a line of credit, refinancing, cashing out to pay my bills, selling something to pay my bills. But it just has definitely been, the point of allowing me to quit my job for my boss, where I was only making a third of what I make, probably a eighth of what I make now, to have the courage to quit my job, right? That came from me having real estate, something else to fall back on. If I didn't leave the house, my property paid all my bills. So at the end of the day, if I didn't make it, I could just stay in the house. That's not a horrible thing. So with that being said, if it wasn't for real estate, I would probably still be somebody's assistant, trying to figure out, where I was going to go. But real estate has definitely allowed me to find my own lane, and I like it. I like my lane.
And so congratulations. And again, much continued success. Um, Folks, I think sometimes people don't really understand the power of real estate and the amount of doors owning one property, just one property, can do for you if you are, of course, like you said, have some education associated with that as well. Like it's people have used the equity in their home. Of course, that's the difference between what you owe and what your home's perceived value at that time is. People have sent their kids to school, have started businesses, have, like you said, use that money to invest in other real estate, pay off bills, whatever. And if you don't have that asset, there's a lot of things that I mean, you're kind of handcuffed, and even if you are able to do that with your cash flow, if you do have that asset, now you got more doors that's opening for you. So I mean, it just makes sense to me.
And the confidence, like, when we go into job interviews, we take what they offer. But when you say, no, this is what I'm worth, you still get it a lot of times. But you just got to have that confidence and that ability to be willing to be told no because you got other options, right? Like your real estate, then you can find the best job for you. And I'm a prime example of that. I came in the company at 28,000. I won't tell you what I make now, but it's not 28,000 because I was able to renegotiate and say, this is what I wanted. This is, I'm not selling for nothing less. And if you don't like it, I quit. Right. And guess what? I got what I wanted because they knew that I deserved it, and they'll give it to somebody else. It's just that, in our communities, we don't ask for what we're worth. And I think it's because we lack that confidence. We live check to check. So because we live check to check, we can't afford to be off work for 30 days to go get double the money. So real estate has helped me with that all day long. So definitely utilize real estate. And I know I'm gonna talk about another story. My mother, she was retiring. She had about $50,000 in her 401k after working for 40 years. And I made her take her 401k and pay cash for a house. She used her credit cards to do her little 10,000 in rehab. Her house is probably worth about 240 today. She has no mortgage. She's retired. She's over 70. All her friends still work. But the power of real estate, she does not, and then she has problems with her legs, so she cannot walk as she would be. So she had to get a job she would not be able to anyway. So my point is that because I made her utilize that 401k that was probably making her $400 a year to buy a property that's now covering her mortgage and she has equity to do whatever she needs to do if she needs to. That helped her change her life. And she called me out of school like, I can't believe that I don't have to go to work. Well, thank yourself because you listened and you believed and you made it happen for yourself. So another story with just an example of the power of real estate. Definitely use real estate to take advantage. In our 203Ks, if you guys own houses, my dad lost his house in Texas. If you own houses and you have violations, mold, mildew, raccoons in your attic, you can renovate and refinance with a renovation loan. So just because you got problems with your house do not mean you cannot get a loan to fix that stuff up. So don't let your leaking roof leak for 10 years and cause $90,000 worth of damage when you can get a renovation loan and spend $8,000 and fix that roof today and move on. So building violations, if it has 80 building violations, I don't care. If it has permanent injunction, I don't care. X on a building, I don't care. Mold to the ceiling of the roof, I don't care. We can do anything with renovation. So don't be scared to ask us what we can do because it's a lot.
So a couple things. One, great story. Thank you for sharing that because I know that is going to hit home with quite a few people. I mean, you came in and you did what a good child should do. You took care of your parents. Honoring that mother, that father, right? So, no,
Now I don't got to take care of her.
say that again.
I said now I don't have to take care of
her. Yes, you do.
No,
a different way. Oh man, and but that's one of the things that people again, I call it one of the most unknown. So people who have heard of the 203K loan, they know it as, oh yeah, you want to buy a house that needs to be fixed up. But the vast majority of those same people, including the other folks who just don't know it all, don't know that, hey, I own a home, I can refinance and renovate. And right. It's a very powerful product. I got a client right now whose children moved out. She got a huge house, split level, and she can't do anything with all that space. So she's the basement level. She's about to transform that into a 1-bedroom studio, 1-bedroom apartment for whomever, and do some other things to the house. But she's going to rent that and let them pay the majority of her mortgage. So that is an option as well. So it's a real powerful product if you're around the right people, if you're tuning in and listening to people such as yourself, and then of course taking action.
Yes.
So
we're here to take action.
Say it again.
I said we're here to help you take action. We can help you with your plan.
Absolutely. So I missed the third one. You said motivate, educate, and was it generate?
Generate help them generate wealth through homeownership. But that motivation is the hard part because people think they can't do it. People think that why should it be me? Why not? Why shouldn't it be you? Right? Why do you deserve to have the same opportunity as everybody else? And I used to think like that. It's just not for me. Oh, yes, it is. We should have the same everybody dealt with the same deck of cards. It just depends on what we do with them. Now we all wasn't born from money and things like that, but we have a set of cards that we can play to get us to where we need it. And everybody got to play their hand differently. We all play spades. So, sometimes you gotta, throw a person off with your cards because we weren't born into it. But if you take those cards and you work them, with these low down payments, house hacking, down payment assistance, with all the opportunities available for you today, you definitely have a lot of opportunity to get in the door.
Absolutely. Just got to tap in. Tap in.
Yeah.
Man, okay. So I did want to bring up at least one other thing. Well, actually, let me back up because you said your father lost his house to taxes. Um, that is one of those things that's definitely unfortunate. And I think, and if people know what the list of options they have are, then stuff like that may not happen. At least you can defend yourself a little better and potentially um, delay something like that happen. I know last year down this way because I got a couple of tax liens a few years ago, but last year I guess because of all of the money that was being dished out, there was nothing on the list. I was like, man, like everybody paid their taxes. Like this is crazy. But yeah, okay, I digress.
Yeah, he
uh,
was for like 5,000, and he got it from his parents, but then they didn't teach him, so he lost it. So,
mm,
um, but yeah, but you gotta pay your taxes, and that's why I encourage all my people to escrow, so you don't have to remember.
mhm,
Um, but believe it or not, my mortgage company, because I reached a 20% equity position, they just dropped my insurance and taxes. Like, we don't want you to escrow anymore. So you got to watch all of that stuff. But you definitely want to always make sure you pay your taxes and open your mail, everybody. You get the notices. Make sure your address is your address. Like, they have the correct address to mail you your tax bill, and make sure you open it, because if you open your mail, you probably won't lose your house.
mm. Wisdom, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now you are a, um, I mean, you're doing your own thing in general, but you've also partnered with a program and a person that has, I guess, maybe accelerated some things or um, boosted some things, or I don't know the right verb to use, but the situation that you're in. I won't say situation, but the relationship that you're working with right now. Are you able to talk about that?
Are you talking about Jamal King?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was blessed to be able to work on the Making Real Estate Real, where I teach individuals that want to become homeowners how to house hack, and share my story on the panel. So it's over, 5,000 people in that group, and he, teaches how to build a team. He teach you how to go to the store and order what you need. He teaches you how to hire your realtor, your accountant, your property manager. He has a entire team, and he's very passionate about teaching people. He was a police officer. He calls himself, the 9 to 5 millionaire, because he became a millionaire while he was a police officer. But it's a pleasure working for him. I have gone from 0 to 100 since working with him, and I was already on the takeoff, and then that was the explosion. But he asked me one day when I was at his house, and he was having our, drinks and food for us. And he said, I think y'all don't understand that y'all have to be ready. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. He said, nah, I don't know what you mean. So since then, I've hired 8 loan officers. I have 9 processors. So I manage a staff of 17 people. And, I'm new to management. I was somebody's assistant. So I work hard every day to boss up and make sure that my squad is making money, and that we're doing a good job servicing our clients. So we've been working really hard at that. We kind of really just put the team together about 2 months ago in full. I have loan officers that started as late as September, and everybody else kind of came on board. But my operations staff I hired about 2 years ago. So I learned all of that from kind of being on the panel, but I am supported by a very large group, and I have nice connections and go to. He respects us as equals. So if I call him, he'll probably answer. I'm on the first ring, which is pretty cool, to be able to collaborate with him and grow. And what I learned from him, I teach to my clients. So it's just an offspring. Everything that I'm engaged with, I push that into my clients as well to just continue to spread the message.
Good deal. Good deal.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and I found
Yeah.
that when I found out about that piece, that's when I was like, oh well, he was just down here. You're my business partner. They done did things together. Um, and
And
so yeah. So you have a ticket that was punched to come on down here. So things are starting to open back up. So
that was our biggest one. It was 216 people there. That was the first time I ever spoke to a crowd that big. It was intense, but they welcomed me and it was great. And I was able to connect. And believe it or not,
Uh-oh. Natasha, where'd you go? Uh-oh. We lost Natasha, y'all. She was about to say something good. I don't know what it was, but it was gonna be good, I'm sure. Believe it or not. So we're gonna pick her back up right there when she pops back in. Um, but but yeah, so again, you probably heard common theme, that team, right? Having those people in place, being ready before you need to be ready, right? Being prepared. So if this is something you think you want to do, oh, she dropped off. She must have. Okay, so hopefully she'll pop back in. But if this is something that you think you want to do, then start reaching out now. Give me a call. Give Natasha a call. Give some of my past guests a call. Like, reach out and I don't want to say reach out and touch. Yeah, I know. Okay, sorry. That's what happened when I have a guest on with me. I start making jokes that make myself laugh. All right, but reach out and start to put your team together, even if it's something that you're looking to do a year from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, maybe not 2 years, but start the learning process at least, right? Start talking to people, seeing who's the key players in that particular position, and just assemble your team, like get your starting lineup together, and yeah, just be ready. Just be ready. I'm hoping she pops back in. I haven't seen her yet, but again, that was Natasha Robinson with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. She did give her social media info earlier on. Let me see. Hold up. I think I got it right here, just in case she's unable to get back on here. Uh, Hold on. Give me 1 second, please. Un momento, por favor. That's your Spanish lesson for today. Uh, Where did it go? So I really need to get glasses. Okay, here we go. So Loans by Natasha is her on IG. So LOANSBYNATASHA. Um, and I don't know if she's going to make it back, but that again was Natasha Robinson. You guys be sure to look her up. Go by her IG page. Hit everything you need to hit, and be ready because she's about to start showing you her process of renovating the new home she's about to have with the $500,000 budget. So that's going to be. Oh, she just popped back in. Let me get her back in here. So that's going to be a great project to watch because you're going to see a lot of different animals, right? You're going to see a lot of different things being done there. I don't know what the scope of work looks like, but I know with that budget, it's a pretty good scope of work. Natasha, you there?
yeah, I'm sorry about that. Everything is dying. Oh my goodness.
No worries, no worries. So, oh, we lost the video again. You still there? Did it die again? So yeah, I was saying, be sure to go over to our IG page, Loans by Natasha, and be on the lookout for her. Sharing her journey of renovating her dream home with all the bells and the whistles and all that good stuff. Um, dang, technology. Let me see. Oh, she dropped off again. Mm-mm-mm. All right, let me. I'm gonna hold y'all for a couple more minutes just to see, if she can get back on here, and we kind of close out. But now, if you caught the episode earlier, or last week rather, you heard me talking about that vision, right? Sight beyond sight. And if you caught what she said earlier on in the interview, she used the word vision, right? She talked about the developers in the area and them not having the vision that she's looking for. And so she decided, hey, you know what? I'm about to just go ahead and take care of this project and create it myself. Do what I need to do or do what I want to do. And again, that vision, man, like seeing past what's going on right now, foreseeing, foresight, right? Sight beyond sight, seeing down the road, like, okay, this is what can happen in this space. Um, but yeah, I don't know if she's gonna make it back on here, and I don't want to hold you guys, but I definitely appreciate you guys being here as always. Um, Again, make sure you hit subscribe, smash the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get all the notifications. Drop a remark if you got some. What was one of the things you took away from what Natasha had to say? Like, drop that down in the comments section, and of course, if you got some value from this, share it with someone else. Share it with a few people. Don't hold it hostage. All right, it's good to share. Sharing is caring. That's what they say. So, all right, I don't think we'll get Natasha back on here, but I definitely appreciate her being on here today, and looking forward to when she make her way on down here to the D.C from the Shy, and I will see you guys next 203K Tuesday. Signing out. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell. Thanks for watching.